Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys, 10 shocks of visiting Scotland. Got my warm coat on here. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. My name is Connor. I like to do things. Let's go. Original link to the video, top of the description. Discord right below that. Click on it. Send it right over there, the link. And yeah, let's go. If you aren't ready to learn about Scotland, there's the door.
Hey there, Philip.
You're in the wrong class. Home back.
Travelers, Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're here in Scotland. We're outside of Inverness and enjoying our time here, and today we have for you our 10 things that are going to shock you when you come here to Scotland, and I want to get straight to the point. The first thing that shocks people when they come here is how everywhere you go looks like a freaking postcard. Scotland is gorgeous, whether you're going through the glens or you're going by the lochs,
Castles.
you're going to beautiful cities, going to Edinburgh and seeing the castle there and walking through this city. Everywhere you go, from Stirling to the Highlands to the Isle of Skye, everywhere you go is gorgeous. They have cool
Guys,
cities.
can I just say something about Europe? I was talking to someone at Melkor, I think, on Discord the other day. How the main thing that Europe has, because of its history, that the U.S. doesn't because of its history, is it has all of these kind of these cobblestone streets, open area. Like, you've had to build around older things over in Europe, whereas building cities in America, it kind of happened when it was done deliberately, like from scratch, a lot of cities, and so they don't have the same kind of spirit, I guess, of a lot of cities in Europe, where there's a lot of history, and it wasn't just from scratch, it's years over years, and refurbishing, and sometimes just keeping other stuff that Europe just has that America just doesn't.
Isle of Skye, everywhere you go is gorgeous. They have cool cities, all kinds of nice people, all kinds of fantastic stuff. And wherever you go, look, it's a postcard. This is a random caravan park, okay? And that's my view. And that's not even the good view.
Just want to point out those are some crazy tides right there.
The other view is that way, but the sun's pointing the wrong direction. And the thing is, when you come here,
There he is.
you will literally be oohing and eyeing and going, oh my goodness, is that like Harry Potter? Yes, it is. That bridge you see in Harry Potter, that's here. This is what it's like when you come to Scotland. It is just unbelievably gorgeous. And that's why, going off of that, the second thing that shocks people when they come here is the insane
Excuse me?
natural beauty of Scotland. Look, when you're going around, you might be going into the hills, you know, the kind of like mini mountains that are out here, and you can go hiking in them. It's great just to walk through. I remember that when I came here with Caleb the first time, all he wanted to do was like, Dad, stop the car. Let's go hiking. I'm like, all right. And we climb up into the mountains and see the heather and see the thistle and everything there. And it was really just amazing. And when you come here, there's tons and tons of pathways you can walk on. Just go into the hills and the mountains to go to on the lochs and take, you know, go on a boat ride on the lochs, go sailing on the lochs, go see the dolphins out on the Black Isle going by.
That cow just looks Scottish right there. I just want to say, never been to Scotland, never been to Ireland either, but I don't believe I have any Scottish ancestry. Irish, English, French, but I could, maybe.
Ride on the lochs, go sailing on the lochs, go see the dolphins out on the Black Isle going by. It is truly natural beauty here. For us, the Isle of Skye is the top, though. When you have the waterfall going off the side of the island, it is just great. But the Highlands, and you go to the islands and everything, it is just amazingly beautiful nature when you are here. And when you come, you really feel like you get back to nature, because there's so much space here as well, which goes along with that, that when you drive, you can go for miles. Not kilometers here, you drive for miles in Scotland, and you drive, and I'll talk about the drive later, but you go through and it's just, wow, that's beautiful, wow, that's beautiful, and you just kind of take it all in. And the third shock I have for you, because it all kind of ties into this postcard theme for the first three, is how many insanely cool castles there are throughout Scotland. Now, we all know Edinburgh Castle, because you're going to go there with the Edinburgh Festival and all those kind of things. But you go, so probably go to Stirling Castle as well. Eiling Castle, probably the coolest castle
That's a great picture right there. Oh my God.
Ever seen. I mean, that is an amazing castle to check out there. There's castles on the lochs. There's castles all over the place. And what's cool is Scotland is very proud of their history, and they've kept up these castles and the manor homes around the country.
That's
and you
so
go
amazing.
around and you'll be driving by and like, oh, there's another castle we can see. turn off and go to it. It's worth it because they're kept very well. They have good guides. They have really good information. There's usually a cafe, nice bathrooms, all together there, and it is just cool because all those things really tie it together into making this such a wonderful country for the traditional kind of tourists, from the beautiful landscapes to the castles to the cities. And there's a reason why Jocelyn, every time she comes here, she says, Mark, we should move here. I mean, we were driving around today and she's like texting, oh, don't worry, she wasn't driving, she was going through and looking, hey, what universities have jobs here? I mean, that's what's so cool about it. And that's the thing, is we were driving around, and that's the fourth thing that shocks tourists when they come here, is driving in Scotland. And no, it's not just the fact that you drive on the left side of the road, which is kind of hard. And you'll notice that they'll remind the tourists quite often at every single major tourist site you're going to drive to that we drive on the left. So make sure you do that. But no, it is kind of freaky that first time when you're driving, you think, wait, I got to be on this side of the road. No, you're on the left side. And that gets people.
And if you rent a car like we did that was on the left side, then you go through the tunnel and then you switch back to the right side of the road in Europe, but still with a car that has the wheel on the right side.
That's not actually the scariest part or the shockingest part. There's a lot of small roads, and with this beautiful countryside with the hills and the lochs and the glens, you have a lot of windy roads as well. So it's like you're driving in a car commercial all the time, which is gorgeous, but it can be shockingly nerve-wracking on your first try. I know the first time I drove here, I was a little testy. This time, I'm much better. Jocelyn, she's doing the most of the driving this time too, and she's like, oh my God. I'm like, it'll be fine, but just know it can't get you. So be ready for those windy, narrow roads, okay?
Yeah, I feel like I'd be like, after every turn, I just like expect, oh God, someone's going to be driving right at me.
And driving on the left, that can get people. But you also might be shocked, is if you want to see a lot of the natural beauty and get to some of these castles, you really do have to drive when you are here in Scotland. There is a good bus network and there's trains and stuff, but to really take Scotland in, you really got to drive on your own.
Sorry, question. That's amazing. It almost has like a prison look at the bottom here, though. Oh, those obelisk. My question is, so is this? I see a bridge out there. Which one is this? Fresh water? Because I know there are a lot of lakes, like long lakes. I'm not sure if this is Loch Ness. But yeah, I'm curious if this is a lake or if this is an inlet of the sea.
And get to some of these castles, you really do have to drive when you are here in Scotland. There is a good bus network and there's trains and stuff, but to really take Scotland in, you really got to drive on your own, because then you can go and see cool places all over. And what's cool when you're driving is actually the locals are pretty supportive, I would say, with all these tourists that don't know what side of the road to go on. They are helpful with directions, and they don't like ride up on your butt. I mean, they'll let you go and then they'll pass you when they need to, but they're not like aggressive drivers here, even on the motorway, which is really cool. And what's kind of leads into the next thing I find shocking about Scotland is, no matter how touristy the place is, the people have been fantastic. The Scottish people are just awesome. They're super friendly. They're super helpful. They got some good jokes as well. And so that's what's really cool about it, because you think a place that gets so many tourists, and especially tourists that don't know how to drive, they get really frustrated with those tourists. The locals do. I mean, go to Florida and talk to the locals. They're like, oh, those snowbirds and those people in Orlando, they get frustrated with them. Here, if they do, they don't show it to the tourists, okay? They are super wonderful and super nice. And whether you're going to a little town like Plockton to stay or a bigger city like Inverness or something like that, people will be helpful. They take you in. Your B&B that you're going to stay in, ask them for some advice, but they'll probably give you the advice anyway where you should go. Don't worry. And don't be surprised if you go, I want to go to this castle. Do they go, oh, no. You should go to this loch and then this castle and then go here to see the dolphins. That's how it goes. So that's one thing that really does shock people, just how nice the Scots are. Now, going off of those nice people, the sixth thing that's going to shock you when you come here is they speak English here, but you might not understand everything they say. Look,
definitely.
In Scotland,
who was it? One of the comedians. I forget his name every time. It's not Frankie Boyle. It's the other. Kevin Bridges. It's so difficult sometimes to understand Scottish accents.
You go north, the more of an accent people have, a stronger
I like to
accent.
give an
and
attempt,
so for tourists, especially if you're coming from the U.S. or places where English isn't the native language and used to that British English, the Queen's English kind of thing, the Hollywood English, it gets a little bit farther away from that here. So sometimes it can be a bit tough to understand people. That's in the more northern parts. In most tourism stuff, you're not going to have any problems. But
it's interesting because it's the opposite here. If you're going to have a little trouble understanding people, it might be in certain parts of the South where they just have a kind of different a much different accent, I'd say, than most of other parts of America.
That might be an issue some places you do go. That is one thing that kind of
Usually
you really should be
easy.
ready for, is sometimes you're like, what'd you say? And so that is kind of a funny little thing, and you can have some fun with it, and the locals have fun with it too, because they'll totally like speak with a strong accent, or they'll speak, you know, a local language, and you'll be like, what? They're like, oh, you don't know, and they'll throw it back at you. But they're so cool about it, it's no big deal. But that just might be shocking that though you say you speak English, you might not understand theirs. Now, the seventh thing that might shock you when you come here,
Flannan Isles, the lighthouse. Can I visit that? Isn't it haunted?
is the food.
Haunted.
Look, Scottish cuisine isn't necessarily up there in terms of the
Haggis?
wow factor of food. And the thing that shocks people most is when they hear about some of the more famous Scottish foods that you probably won't eat or have very often when you are here, but everyone likes to talk about
I'd
it.
try anything.
For example, haggis. Haggis is basically
Guys,
organ meat.
no allergies here. No food. I will eat anything. I like pretty much every food group. And I'll give it a try. I might not like it, but I'll give it a try.
Chopped up with some spices and some other stuff, stuffed into an intestine, and then served to you. Well, it's cooked, of course, and then served to you. Sounds delicious, doesn't it? Oh, but wait, there's more. Maybe you like some black pudding? Hey, or black sausage? Which is basically blood mixed with some meat and rice and stuffed in another, you know, casing to make a sausage kind of thing. They have that. But if you don't like the blood side of it, oh, you can have the white version of it, which is made out of fat. Look, these kind of things you might have, like like the black pudding and black sausage kind of stuff, you might have for breakfast in the morning, but you're most likely not going to have that when you're here. And that's why kind of actually the shocking thing about food in Scotland is there actually is some really good food here. When you're going to the pubs, you go to the restaurants, they have some really good grub. You know, and yes, you can have the fish and chips, the kind of traditional UK kind of stuff, but you have the potatoes, the turnips, and these kind of things that you will like. But there's a lot of really good food here. The pies I really enjoyed. The boys have been eating like crazy when you're here. Amazing fish, dude. There's a reason why you pay so much money for Scottish salmon when you're at your store back home, because it's phenomenal. And here you can go by the store for next to nothing and have a fantastic meal you cook on your own with Scottish salmon, which is awesome. The porridge.
I love mashed potatoes. Nice gravy, some sausages, potatoes, carrots, green beans.
Cheer, the oatmeal. Look, my kids were joking with me when I went and bought oatmeal for them, or
I
porridge
guess that's
for them.
the only thing. I'm not a huge sweets guy. I enjoy it a lot sometimes, but usually more about the main course.
Dad, we don't like this at home. I'm like, just wait. Both of them this morning said, that was awesome. Can we have it tomorrow for breakfast? Okay, so there is some stuff that you will really enjoy when you are here. And for me, one of my favorite parts of actually the food here in Scotland is when you go to the pub and you go to places and you go eat out, because it can give you more of an experience when you are here. And yes, you can try your haggis, but try some of the other stuff too, because you actually enjoy those. Now, the only thing that might shock you when you come here is the weather. Look. It's not raining. Look, it's kind of a joke that here in Scotland in the summer times, you can enjoy all 4 seasons in one day. Yes, I'm here and it's a beautiful day today. We had sun out.
Question, it's pretty darn far north. So in the height of summer, like, do you get like 4 hours of darkness or something like that? Or is it not far north enough for that?
I had to get the sunblock out, my hat on and stuff
I guess
like
in
that.
winter it would barely come up.
You can have beautiful days here in Scotland. It doesn't rain all the time. However, it does rain quite often. And the locals we talked to today, they said, oh, we have weather like this all the time in 10-minute increments every other day. Look, when you do come here, you need to bring layers, okay? You need to bring a jacket, okay? An umbrella, these kind of things, because it does rain a bit, okay? So do be ready for that, and don't let it ruin your vacation or your visit here, because that's a normal thing. And you can go and visit the castles, and you go visit these things inside and outside with a little bit of rain. You're not going to be too bad off, okay? Now, there can be,
This is sort of reminds me of what Brussels was like these kind of big town squares every now and then, with these just all connected giant castle-like buildings.
Worst storms, but just like anywhere, so just be ready for that one. But just know the weather here, it might shock you that, wait, you can have sunny, beautiful days in Scotland? Yes, you can, okay? But just know the rain does come quite often. I guess we're just lucky today. Also, I think it shocks some people, especially if you have little kids when you come here, is if you're coming in the summertime, sun up is like 4 in the morning, sundown is like 10 or something at night, and so the kids don't really want to go to bed, and so that light goes all day long. So what's cool about that is you can go and visit sites during the earlier hours of the day and the later hours of the night. Now you can
3:47 a.m. sunrise on like summer solstice.
sites during the
I'm guessing.
earlier hours of the day and the later hours of the night. Now you can't go in. Most of the tourism places close by 6 and things like that, but you can still, hit the bars and hit the restaurants and stuff like that, or go driving along the coast, take in the dolphins going.
I don't know what it was about this
places
next
close
picture that just made me really happy.
by 6 and things like that, but you can still, hit the bars and hit the restaurants and stuff like that, or go driving along the coast, take in the dolphins going out to sea and things like that. You can do that. So don't be too worried about the weather or the sun all the time, or the clouds that are hiding the sun. You do have that. Now, our last two shocks, we'll go show you a little bit more of Scotland, and maybe that weather might change a bit, because honestly, I came out here to start filming this, and I was fine with my little t-shirt, my little Nessie t-shirt, and now I'm like, dude, I need my Walter's World quarter suit, because it's like dropped like 10 degrees while I've been filming. Anyway, I hope you have a great time here in Scotland. It is gorgeous, it is beautiful, and I hope you do enjoy it. But we'll go to another spot to finish off our last two. Now, here we are driving to Aberdeen from Inverness, and you have these beautiful views all over Scotland. And to finish off our 10 shocks, actually, I'm going to go to something about the nature that you might not like, are the midges.
I just want to sit.
The little tiny bugs that can leave little red bites all.
Bugs. Like mosquitoes or flies or something? Horse flies? Ooh, if they're like horse flies. What was I going to say?
You have these beautiful.
Right. This is. I kept like I wanted to say. Ooh, this kind of looks a lot like European or like New England, mainly like northern New England. Like similar kind of rock faces and flora, like plants and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's something very different, and so why am I even pointing it out?
Views all over Scotland. And to finish off our 10 shocks, actually, I'm going to go to something about the nature that you might not like, are the midges, the little tiny bugs that can leave little red bites all over you. And the crazy thing about it is, it's kind of like if you take a map and you draw down the middle of Scotland. On the west side, the midges eat you alive. On the east side, not too much of a problem, but it is shock as how many bites you will get, and it is quite crazy, especially if you're going to the Isle of Skye and stuff like that. And then our 10th thing that shocks people when they come here is the lack of being able to shop after 6 o'clock. Look, a lot of towns and a lot of shops throughout the country of Scotland do close by 6 or at 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday and things like that, so there are limited hours to go shopping here. Now, some days and some places are open later, so you're okay, but just know that if you want to get your shopping done or buy your kilt or whatever you want to do, you need to do it before 6, okay? Also, with that timing thing, don't try to take your kids to eat at the pub for a late dinner, because they won't let them in the evening, okay? So just a heads up on that one. Anyway, those were our 10 shocks of visiting Scotland. What are the 10 things that shocked you about visiting Scotland? Put in the comments section.
God, it looked like a lion for a second over there.
Section below so we can have some more shocks, and we really appreciate your likes, subscriptions, and we hope you have a great time here in Scotland, because we know we have. And if you want to learn more, 5 things you love and hate about visiting Scotland, things you don't do when you're in Scotland, stuff like that, check us out on our website at waltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and
all the things. Awesome. I think I'll check out those other Scotland videos as well. I was looking at shocks about Ireland 2, which I will check out. I like these videos. Top 10 lists. I'm a sucker. Awesome. All right, last video today. I'll post it tomorrow. See you guys next time.